Okay, uh, I'm audible, guys. If I'm audible, just make a text. Okay, so welcome everyone. If I asked you to define malware, you'd probably say the code that break things. Okay, like the villains smashing cars in a Rohit Shetty movie. But that's not true, right? We are not here to destroy anything. Okay, we are here to outsmart. Like think of this roadmap not as a like computer course, okay, but as the script for the ultimate heist movie. So there is two way. Okay, one is one way to enter a room, like kicking the door down like there. Okay, but and there is a quiet way, like picking the door lock. We are the artist who pick the lock. Yeah, see, the blue team might call it's a threat, but we call it's art. And I believe breaking the rules is more fun than following them. So let's be clear, we are here to test defenses, not steal credit cards. Building your own malware is what separates a true operator from a script kiddie who just hit next and download a tool. That's it. Think of this way. Using a public C2 framework is like reheating a frozen pizza. Okay, so if you're using default Metasploit payloads in 2025 or 2026, like trying to sneak into a ninja ninja wearing a neon bells. Okay, so we start our today's live video. We are talking about the malware development roadmap, how you start your journey in Windows malware development. But yeah, the most important and mandatory disclaimer: this is for educational purpose only, guys. This is for educational purpose only. Like seriously, don't do crimes. Okay, I take zero responsibility if you get yourself arrested. Okay, you are the captain of your own seeking snip. Okay, so first we start. Okay, so in every movie, okay, the hero needs the right weapon. Okay, so before we start injecting cell code or hiding in memory, we need to pick a language. If you look at GitHub, you will see malware written in everything from Go to Rust to Neem. But today we start with the king, the C. Okay, so beginner always asks me like, why not Python? Like it is so easy. Like imagine Python is like a rich kid living in a penthouse. Okay, in like the South Mumbai. Okay, so he's comfortable, but he has a butler. Okay, and like butler means like the interpreter. Okay, who does everything for him. If he wants to talk the building manager, if like we call the Windows operating system as a building manager, he has to send message to the butler. Okay, yeah, yes, it is safe, but it is slow and butler talk too much. Okay, so if you understand like this, so this is a penthouse. Okay, so like the Python is in there. Okay, here is the Python. Okay, and in the middle there is a butler, or we can say this is a interpreter. Okay, who translate everything you say, and it's very slow. Okay, and the building manager, our operating system. Okay, and the most important last, our basement, our hardware. Okay, so if like the Python, why we not choose Python? Because it's very slow, because there is a thing, the butler. Okay, but in C++ or C, like it's the street smart hero. Okay, it's live in the basement, it's the hardware with the pipes and wires. There is no butler. Okay, so when you write in C, you are talking directly to the building manager. Like if we using not this, if we using C, we can talk directly to the manager. Okay, okay, why it's not, we directly talk with the manager. Okay, so we don't need this. Okay, so like when you write in C, you are talking directly to the building manager and you control every byte of memory. And you guys all know most of operating system like the Windows and Linux and even Python written in C. So if you want to hide in the shadows, you need to be in the basement, okay, not in the penthouse. So that's why we start with C. Okay, so now we need a safe house to make our malwares. Okay, so first of all, you need to know C and C++ very well. Okay, then we need to know a safe space, how we write our malware or how we practice. Okay, so the safe house, we can say it's like setting up a lab. Okay, so it's like we need a bunker. Okay, you don't build a bomb in your living room where your family is watching Big Boss, right? So you build it in a secret location. So in our world or in cyber world, it's a safe house. It's called virtual machine. Like you are using VMware, you are using VirtualBox, or you are using UTM. So we install Windows 11 here. There is our lab rat. We write the code on this machine, compile it, and then then in fact it's right there. But there is a villain in our story. There is a villain called Windows Defender. He is the security guard who never sleeps. Okay, so as soon as you try to compile your malware, he will grab it and throw it in quarantine. So we have to create a no-go zone. Okay, so we make a like a exclusion folder on the desktop. It's in here. So you create a exclusion folder on the desktop. So we tell the guard that you can taste the whole city, the whole computer, but this one room is off limits. This is where we cooked our codes. Okay, so this is the thing. You need to first make this safe zone in your desktop to practice and to build your malware. Okay, and next the most important, you need to know the assembly language. Okay, you need to know the assembly language. One second. Yeah, so you need to know the assembly language. So why you need to know the assembly language? It's the most important thing. Okay, so like now we can say now things get serious because C++ is powerful. Okay, C or C++ is powerful, but sometimes even that is too loud. Okay, so to be truly invisible, you need assembly. Think of high level code like wish list. You hope the computer understand you. Assembly is the law. Okay, you like the C or C++, you make the wish list, but the assembly is the law. Modern security tools like the EDRs and all have some spice everywhere. Because okay, then if you use standard C++ function, you might trigger an alarm, but assembly allow you to perform direct hardware mapping. Okay, it is like knowing the secret tunnels under the city. You can sneak past the spice and talk directly to the kernel, the king. Okay, so using something called syscall, it is difficult, but it's make you a host. So in this session we talking about many keywords or like many advanced words, like if you are entering in malware development journey, you need to learn how to research anything. Like in a 1 hour session or 2 hour session, I'm not able to teach you everything. So you need to write the keywords, search in Google. Okay, so it's your work. So yeah, do you have some questions like we are saying C and C++ is you don't have any butler, there is no, it's very fast. Okay, so like C and C++ don't have any translators, but C and C++ has one translator, but Python have two translator. Okay, and assembly is zero. So like assembly is zero translator, direct hardware mapping. So okay, so you write assembly in MOV. You just see a sample. So you write assembly in mov, the cpu sees the 1010. It is actually 1-to-1 match. Okay, and the C language is a one translator called AOT. Okay, ahead of time. Okay, so you run the compiler like cl.exe, and uh, and once it's translated your C code entirely into the machine code.exe before you even run it. Okay, and the Python have two translator, like it's one is the bitcode interpretation. Okay, so one is intermediate, like Python first compile your text into bitcode, that .pyc file. This is a middle language that is easier for computer to read, but isn't machine yet. Okay, so he used the second translator, the runtime, the Python virtual machine PVM, then reads the bit code and translate it into a machine code line by line while the program is running. Okay, so you need to know the assembly language very well, and it's tough, but you if you give time, then you can master in this assembly language. Okay, then we need to know the loaders. What is loaders? Okay, so a loader is a program designed to bypass static analysis. Okay, like scanning the file on disk by focusing the payload to build a basic loader. So you need to master these four specific steps. Okay, so there is a one step is storage, the backpack. Okay, so you don't leave a malicious shell code as a raw variable. Okay, so you need to, one second, so yeah, so you need to packed it. Okay, so raw assembly code is like slash x90 and x90 and all, but like the antivirus scanners have have pre-built signatures for that. Okay, so you encrypt the shell code using XOR or AES or RC4, so it's look like a random noise. So you store this encrypted blob in the data section or the .rsrc, the resource section of the P file. Then the second one is allocation. Okay, so you need to ask Windows for a chunk of memory to work in. Okay, like the API, the virtual allocating. Okay, so you usually need the page execute read write, we are called RWX. Okay, so note it, RWX memory is suspicious to EDRs, so advanced loaders allocate as read write copy data and then it flip to the RX. Okay, and then the deobfuscation, the loader reads the encrypted blob from its own body and applies a decryption key, like the exoring is back. So it's writing clean. So raw shell code into that allocate memory space. Okay, then the last part, the execution, the loader is done, it now needs to pass the button to shell code. Okay, so create thread, like run the code in a parallel thread. Okay, or function pointer, like taking the C++ into thinking the memory address is a function. Okay, so if we take an example of loader how it's work, so simply we take a scenario. Okay, so there is a gun. Okay, and we need to hijack this plane. Okay, so if I take this gun directly to the plane, then the security guard not enter, like security guard see the plane gun and arrest you. Okay, so security guard is just like a EDR. Okay, so we need to go inside the plane. So we like first we take the first step, storage. Okay, so if there is a musician here, okay, carrying a guitar bag. Okay, so this is our first step. This is our first step, the storage. Okay, this is the first step of storage. Okay, then the gun hide inside the musician guitar bag. This is our second stage, allocation. Okay, this is our second stage, allocation. Okay, now the guard say, like if the guard say the guitar bag, the guard say then go say go ahead. Okay, So this is the part 3, deobfuscation. Okay, 1 second, guys. Yeah, this is the part 3. Okay, and then we inside the plane is the 4. Okay, this is the scenario, like how loader work. Okay, it's just an example. If we take like how a loader transform from a save file on the hard drive to a weapon, it is like the brain of the computer, RAM. Okay, so if we take it as a like if we take example as a technical way, so okay, so where is the hard drive? Okay, so the hard drive, and it's our malware mal.exe. Okay, so it's look like a normal app. Okay, it's look like a normal app. Okay, then we encrypt the malware. We encrypt the malware. Okay, and the hidden malware like looks like a junk data. Okay, then it's look like a junk data. Okay, so now a user click the the file. Okay, so a user, here the user, second, so here the user click. Okay, user click the file. Okay, so the first step, it's goes to memory RAM. Okay, so like loader allocate a new empty space. Here the loader allocate a empty space. Okay, this is the first step. Okay, now the second one, this is the second, second, 1 second, guys. Yeah, so now this is the second step, where loader decrypt the file. Okay, so what to do? So loader in this section, loader decrypt the file into the empty space. Sorry, guys, my handwriting is very bad. Okay, so yeah, okay, so it's the second step, and the fourth step in the RAM, sorry, third step in the RAM, malware is now activate. Okay, in this step malware is now activate. Okay, now loader tell the CPU in this part, loader tells CPU, and in this part the malware activate. Okay, so in this part the loader tell the CPU jump to this new code, this is the execution. This is the process how loader work. Okay, so you need to understand the Windows internal part, like how we create loaders and how we manage them, like how we enter and how we hide himself and how we encrypt it and all. That's why I'm first to say it's an art. Okay, it's not a crime, it's an art. Okay, whatsoever. Okay, so now we talking about the next important, 1 second, yeah. So now we're talking about the next very important part that you need to learn is Win32 API and the Windows internals. It's a very important part. Okay, so if like we take another example, like if assembly is the raw ingredients, okay, the Win32 API is the official menu. Okay, but how does it work? Like if we, okay, if we take another example, okay, so imagine a fancy restaurant, you are the malware. Okay, so if you take a, yeah, okay, so you are the malware. One second. uh, okay, so you are the malware name malman. Okay, so you want a file open. Okay, so like if you want a file open means you want to eat something, okay, or you want the food, so you can't work in the kitchen, okay, yourself. Okay, the kitchen we can say the kernel. Okay, so you can't work in the kitchen, like the chef will kick you out, right? So instead you ask the waiter. Okay, if you take the waiter is the kernel 32 DLL. Okay, what is DLL and all, just search in Google. Okay, so yeah, I just said the scenario. So this is our malware or me in the restaurant, and I need food, so I ask the waiter. Okay, so I ask the waiter, we use create file a, like I want to create a file in a system, Windows system, so I like the same, I asked a waiter. Okay, next the waiter, this is the waiter, the waiter. Okay, the waiter tell to the kitchen. Okay, so he tell your order to the maybe the head waiter. Okay, it's the ntdll. Okay, or we can say it's in kitchen door. Okay, kitchen door, and in this part we like waiter tell to the kitchen. Okay, and this is the part of kitchen door, and this is the last part of users. Okay, then then the order enter the kitchen. Okay, in this part we use system call. Okay, so the order, the bill goes in the kitchen. Okay, and the last in the kitchen, the kernel, Windows kernel. Okay, this is enter in the kitchen, and he serve the food, like he create a file. Okay, this is like the final, the safe kernel, like to cook your food. Okay, this type. Okay, so this is the whole scenario, how why the Win32 API is very important and the Windows internals is very important. Okay, so to be pro you need to know the big three waiters. Okay, so you need to know the big three waiters, like kernel 32. Kernel 32 we kernel 32, one second. Okay, kernel 32 we can say it's the brain. Okay, it's the brain. So, and the second one is user 32. User 32. So user 32 we can say it's the face. Okay, is the face. Okay, and the last ADVPI 32 is the badge. Okay, or is the registry, is the badge. Okay, so brain, face and badge. Okay, so this is the whole the Win32. So like Win32 API is a very important topic, and it's a big topic. So I just touch, like you need to know this for your malware development journey. Okay, then the then the third, maybe third one is we need, yeah, so first we want to learn the C and C++. Okay, then we need to learn that the assembly language. Then the previous we need to make our lab, how we practice and where we make our code. Then we need to know the assembly language. Then we need to know the loaders. Okay, then we need to know the uh, win API, win32 API. Okay, now we need to know the payload. The payload is the most important thing. Like without payload, the code, the loader is like useless. Okay, so you need to know the payload. So payload is what happen after you get in. Okay, so it's come in two type. Okay, we make our payload in two type. One is cell code, the assembly language. Okay, and another one is DLLs. Okay, so cell code, this is a raw machine code. Okay, it is difficult to write because it has to survive anywhere in memory without any help, and it's very advanced and very hard. Second is the DLL. This is easier, like a normal program, but we use a trick called like reflective loading. Okay, to run it without ever touching the hard drive. Okay, so you also have to decide between the staged and the stagless. Okay, so stagless is like a giant wooden horse filled with shoulders. Okay, it is huge and easy to spot, but staged is like sending just one tiny guy with a radio. Once he get inside, he call the backup and download the army. This keep us small and sneaky. Okay, so it's we just make two malware, is the stag and stagless, and like one is a huge code, and one is a tiny code that's in your device, and then it connect to our main file or our any GitHub repository and download the rest of the files. Okay, work is like this. So Windows malware development roadmap, uh, like the like you were right. Like before we pull up the haste, we need to train the montage. Okay, so you know that the part is every sports movie, like the Sultan or the Dangal, where the hero wake up at 4 a.m., run in the mud and lift heavy tires. Okay, that is where champions are made. So you cannot just jump into the ring with a world champion, or to bypass a Windows defender. Okay, so he will knock you out in one round. Okay, so you need to build your muscles first. So here is how actually study, practice, and find the secret scrolls of knowledge in the next 1 year. Okay, so how to study, or like how you start your journey in the malware development. Okay, and so like in the movies, the hero does not start by fighting the villain. Okay, he start by whipping the floor or catching the chickens. Okay, so in malware development, your catching the chickens is understanding the basics. Okay, so you need to know the C and C++ and the assembly language and the Windows internals and all. Okay, so don't just read, write code. Okay, and in cybersecurity, if anyone tell you the coding is not important in cybersecurity, bro, coding is very important. Okay, start today. Okay, so today you start C, C++, Python. Okay, coding is very important. So just write the code. It's your the muscle memory. Okay, you cannot learn to swim by reading a book about water. Okay, you have to get wet. So student watch 10 hours of YouTube videos and but never write a single line of code. So you need to open a virtual code studio or any software, write a program in C that just says hello. Okay, let's make it create a file, then make it delete that file. That's it. Stop trying to build malware. Okay, just build a software first. If you can't build a calculator, you can't build a virus. Okay, so learn to read the matrix, the assembly, and the debugging. Sometimes the source code lies to you. Okay, you need to look at the territory. Okay, so I suggest download the x64 dbg software. It looks scary like the cockpit of a fighter jet, but run your simple hello world program inside it. Watch how the computer moves data from one registry to another. Okay, like the cpu pocket. Okay, so when you malware crash, and it will, okay, the c++ code won't tell you why, the cpu register will. Okay, so you need and the most important, where to practice it. Okay, so you need a place where you can break things, like without your mom telling it to you, like building your danger room, the lab, or the black box. Okay, so you need I prefer you need two computers, but buying two laptop is expensive, so we fake it. Okay, so the this like we download the VMware or the VirtualBox. Okay, install, download Windows 10 or 11, turn off the all defenses. The first, this is your punching bag. Then install Kali Linux or a separate Windows machine for coding. Okay, and never run your malware on your main computer, the host. If you accidentally encrypt your family photos, there is no undo button. Okay, so yeah, so like download a tool, run it, and say I am a hacker, bro, is boring. There is no skill. So try to write a tool that steal the clipboard, files 50 times, fix it, finally it's work. Okay, so and the resources, why do the master get the knowledge? They don't just google how to hack or in youtube. They got the sources. You, if you tell me, so there is a book, windows internals. There is a two part, you can read this book. Okay, yeah, it is huge, it's heavy, but it is boring, but you don't read it cover to cover, you use it like a dictionary. Okay, when you want to know what a thread is, you read the chapter. This book is written by the people who build windows. Okay, and there is some official menu, microsoft docs. Okay, microsoft actually tells you exactly how to use their opens. Okay, search for microsoft documentation, what is create remote thread and all, you know everything. Okay, then the like microsoft teach you how to use the function for good, and we read the same page to use it for for other things. Okay, and there is a one, you have some black market, the github. Okay, so search for terms like malware development, process injection, red team code, the keywords. Okay, don't just copy paste. Okay, read the code, try to understand why they use the specific line. So if you copy blindly, you are just a parrot, not a poet. Okay, so best of luck. And yeah, you, there is a one resources to know the malware development. Just follow Mr. Malman. Yeah, just subscribe my YouTube channel, and you can connect me in the LinkedIn, Mr. Malman, or Insta. I post daily some fun reels and some techie memes, and I'm trying to come live some different topics, and I call some different person. Okay, well, I'm planning to make some podcast. Okay, that's help you in your journey. Okay, so today we just turn off our session live. If you guys love it, just make sure you hit the like button, make comments. If you don't understand any point, just comment me, or you ping me in the LinkedIn. Okay, and yeah, share this video. Okay, so let's signing off, guys. See you in the next live session.